All right, it's Tuesday, April 22nd, and there's mixed action out there. Some markets are going sideways, some are recovering, and the drama with tariffs is going to continue to unfold, leading to uncertainty until we know what's going to happen. So I'm doing something different today. I'm going to share one chart that you see here that's something important to me to guide you for the days ahead, and I'm going to share 4 other markets from our very own tribe members and dive into the technicals behind those charts. So if you're new here, I'm HimaReddy. I use price action, market timing, that's forecasting, and momentum to boost my trading and that of our tribes. So I'm here in the VIX volatility index, which has basically been going sideways since April 14th. Now, what this means is that the VIX, which measures the fear in the market, is sort of figuring itself out. It's sort of assessing, well, how scared is everyone really? Or is the worst behind us? Now, when you look at this on an intraday chart, there's actually more detail you can pull out, and I have price action analysis, forecasting, and more. And right now, as of this moment, 1 p.m. Eastern, April 22nd, there is room, it's not a guarantee, but there's room for the VIX to pop back higher, which would lead to intraday weakness in the stock market. However, again, notice the 35.17 and 26.57. So that range is super important to watch if you're a swing trader to see which way we go from here in mid-April. Now, I did say that I'm going to look at some requests from our tribe. Here are those. All right, here I have the wheel of names, and I have recommended tickers to review from our very own tribe members. Now, they shared these in our private members Facebook group when I asked, what are you watching this Q2 2025 earnings season? So I just did my one chart, and now I'll do one more from each of these 4 contributors. So here we go. Let's spin the wheel and let's see what we get first. Again, I haven't looked at the charts in advance. I haven't prepared. Here we go. So it looks like we have GOOG, G-O-O-G, from Helen I. All right, fantastic. So I'm going to remove that from Helen. I'm going to remove her other tickers as well, and we'll head over to the GOOG chart. Now, GOOG is Google or Alphabet Inc. There's also the ticker symbol GOOGL, all right? So I'm going to look at the one that Helen requested and do my broad technical analysis on it. On a monthly time frame, that's right, getting a sense of where we've been, we have worked off overbought conditions and are back near the bull support power zone on the R side. So this leaves some room for Google to have further recovery. Oh, look at that beauty. We've also hit an important support level at 142.38. And how I determined that level and why I drew it that way, I teach in my 4 zones RSI coverage system. All right, quick, let's go to the weekly chart. So same chart, same annotations, but now a weekly time frame. Here you can see the RSI power zone skimmed the bear support power zone. That is a greater sign of weakness, and that was after breaking below the September low. And most closely to the current price action is this resistance, which, has also held beautifully. Again, I teach this in the 4 zones RSI coverage system. 164.13, we came to 164.03, just a 10-cent difference on weekly chart. All right, last round here, let's go to a daily chart. And here we can see that the RSI power zones remain working off oversold conditions. They are approaching and have been in this support range from April 7th, shaped by the resistance from April 14th. So my sort of quick take on GOOG is that it remains weak while beneath the low from April 17th, and it's probably on its way back towards 142 to 140. Okay, in the same way, I'll now do another ticker depending on what the wheel gives us. Here we go. All right, looks like it's going to be ticker CNEA from Scott. Awesome. So I'll remove that and remove Scott's remaining choices, and we'll go to CNE. All right. I will admit, I have no clue what this is, how to pronounce this word, but it's sugar. And it could be some sort of sugar processing company. Doesn't matter. To me, it could be a widget. I'm just going to do the technical analysis here, and hopefully Scott's watching. So we have had this stock, or this entity, right, come down, make an extreme low in April of 2020 in a monthly chart, run up into November of 2023, and then basically been consolidating. All of this seems to have been in about the 50% retracement area. So it's kind of dancing around that level back and forth. Now on the weekly chart, it remains overall in a downtrend, and currently that downtrend is shaped by this high here, all right, from the week ending October 11th, 2024. If the price action continues lower, the most important nearby support is this old top. That's a GAN concept from April 2022. Now we bring it down to the daily. And here, this is remaining weak on two fronts, not only because it's still beneath that weekly high, but because it also took out the most recent March low. So even if there's a little bit more short-term recovery, I suspect further weakness for this security down to 1077, possibly 1018. All right, let's keep going. All right, now we're back. Two people, two tickers each. Let's see what will be next. Again, I'm letting fate decide. All right, MA for Shanti. So this is MasterCard. Now, this stock has had a nice run up, but a substantial decline like many others. Notice it's come to its most recent key support. Again, I teach that in the 4 zones RSI coverage system. Let's go down to a weekly time frame. Here we are shaping the latest down move by the high from the week ending March 28th. The RSI power zones came to the bull support power zone and nicely ticked up, but they're still within a downtrend. Looking at this on the daily chart, we returned to this old bottom, but notice how the market has not been able to put a close above it. 517.71 has continued to exert resistance, and we also haven't taken out the high from late March. So while there may be a little bit more short-term recovery, especially in an attempt to close this gap, which is about done, okay, this gap down from May 3rd or April 3rd to April 4th, I still think there's more likely weakness ahead for this stock. The next downside target would be 483.90, and then if there's a really strong push below that, 451.43. Last but not least, we have Dylan's requests, and the wheel is split. So what's it going to be? Bitcoin or the euro? Fate will decide. And it looks like it's Bitcoin. Okay, so let's head over to the chart of Bitcoin. Here we've got BTCUSD on a monthly time frame. You can see that after declining from the December high, it retraced about half of the rise from August and was not able to close below that level at about 78,700, which was great. And we see a lift since then. On the weekly time frame, it looks even better because not only is that 50% holding on a weekly closing bar basis, that all came back to that price support with the RSI holding the bull support power zone, and beautifully respecting an old top from March of 2024. And then most recently, after making a couple of drives, that's directional price moves down, look at how we're taking out the March high. This is good news for Bitcoin. So I'm just going to remove this annotation here and now go to the daily chart. And here we go. On the daily chart, we had a move from the bull resistance power zone all the way to the bear support power zone, and then a beautiful disconnect between price and momentum. Guys, I teach this in my bull bear RSI face-off ebook, which when it's on special is less than the cost of a slice of pizza and most lattes these days. So be sure to get it if you haven't already, because that would have had you ready for this move higher in Bitcoin to protect any downside positions or be ready to reaccumulate. Now, where are we headed? I'm going to look at my two most extreme resistance and support levels. I don't think we'll hit there immediately, but I'm just monitoring them here, okay? So while we're above the April 7th low, we are potentially in a journey back towards 105,000. I think it'll take a few weeks, but I think it's what is, in order. Now, along the way, there are resistance levels that can stop the progress and pause it, and here are those two levels. On the downside, while we stay above the 83,000 level, this is the outlook that I just said, but if we get below 83,000, we might see a little bit more churn and a retest of 75,000. So I hope you enjoyed that look at 5 markets, all different kinds. Fate decided, our tribe contributed. I looked at the VIX with you, which again, keep an eye on it. While it's sideways, we're probably going to have a lot of sideways action in the broad market. And I'll catch you soon. Be sure to give this video a like if you found value in it. Drop a comment down below is even better. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon.